Hey everyone, welcome back to dansfera.com. Again, that website address is dansfera, just like my name. You'll see it on the bottom of the screen right there. Today, I'm interviewing coffee expert, coffee video blogger. This man is extremely passionate about coffee. He's been doing videos about coffee, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, since 2008?
Yeah, November 2008.
So for a long time, you go on YouTube and see his videos. He's Jason Coffee. I'm very happy to have him on, and we're just going to talk about how he got started in doing these videos about coffee, a little bit about the business behind it, and obviously a lot of social media stuff too. So, Jason, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us, a little bit of your backstory. Who are you? What did you do before you became the coffee guy? And then just lead us into the present time.
I am a coffee enthusiast. I have been since, I would say, 2001, 2002. I started working at a coffee shop just as a barista and just started liking it. I hadn't really drank coffee before that, except when I was like 3 years old, and my dad said I was begging to try my dad's Folgers out of his coffee pot, and it was disgusting. I must have had advanced taste buds to know that it was crap. No, but I mean, it was just I was 3. But then moving forward, working at that coffee shop, and then getting married. Needed a stable job, so got on with Starbucks. Ended up becoming a store manager for Starbucks, learning a lot about coffee through them, and ended up learning that there's better coffee out there. Just in doing research and developing a passion for coffee. So I got to give credit where credit's due. Starbucks did get me started down the road of learning about coffee, but now there's just such a world that's opened up to me. In regards to coffee, and then discovered Gary Vaynerchuk while I was doing that, and saw he was doing that for wine, and I was like, I could do that. And so I started my coffee blog, wrote a few articles. People liked them. I got like 4,000 followers on Twitter, and I said, I think I'm going to do this for a long time.
Wait, so what was it that caused you to get 4,000 followers on the? Did you write a piece, or you did one short video? How did it go?
If I remember back, I wrote 5 articles. I had a Blogger blog at the time, just jumped right in, and they started, I wrote an article, got some followers on the Blogger blog, probably at that time had 1,000 followers on Twitter, just following some, coffee people talking about coffee. And then I think what really took me over the edge was I did these contests. I did contests on Twitter where I gave away 10 coffee makers over the course of like 2 months.
Wow.
And every time I got to 1,000 followers, I gave away a coffee maker.
Ah, okay. And you were no longer working for Starbucks, right?
At that time, I'm trying to remember 2008. Where was I working? No, I was working for Starbucks still.
You were? Okay.
Yeah,
But the coffee makers you were giving away were from your own money?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I purchased those. I just saw an opportunity on Twitter to do contests. There weren't as many people on Twitter.
Right.
Now, if you try to do a Twitter contest, you get drowned out by all the noise. It's easy to get drowned out by the noise.
Okay.
Just because there's billions of tweets, It's just go to search.twitter.com and you'll see type coffee. Every like 20 seconds, there's 500 tweets about coffee.
Wow.
I don't know the number, but it's a lot. I just saw an opportunity to do some contests, and sure enough, like, I don't know the exact numbers, but it seemed like every 1 to 2 weeks I got 1,000 followers, gave away another coffee maker,
Wow.
another one. At one point during that time period, you can see the trending tweets. I was trending with like Obama and Christmas. So,
really?
So back then it was a lot easier to get on that trending tweets page, I would say.
So it was actually Jason Coffee trending?
Coffee Cup News was trending.
Coffee Cup News. Okay.
Username, yeah.
And we should tell the audience, that is your website, CoffeeCupNews.org, right?
Yep, got the ORG. The .com was taken.
So now I'm curious about Starbucks. Did they know you were doing this blogging or social media stuff at the time?
Negative.
They did not. And so when did you decide to leave Starbucks? Was it before you started making money through your business, or did you kind of take a leap of faith?
You know what? I still have another full-time job on top of this blog.
Oh, okay, okay.
I had this as my full-time job for a year, and it was going well. I have 3 kids and a mortgage.
Yeah,
so,
I hear you.
there
That's
you
what
go.
people ask me too with the clinical trials. And I tell them, well, it's on the side. I mean, I do have another 9 to 5 job that I'm responsible for.
Right. If I was a single dude with no mortgage, I could easily do this as my full-time job. But
Really? So you can.
out
So it
right
is
now.
possible for someone to maintain a lifestyle, albeit very modest, but to support like maybe yourself off of blogging.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, especially if you get into video plus blogging. And it really depends on the amount of time that you have to give to seeking out advertisers, seeking out, free product to review, because you need the product in order to do the reviews. It's all time. It's
Right.
hard work. So, yeah, I'm sure that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. Thank
I
you
hope
for
it does.
No, it's very good. I mean, we have a lot of audience members who are curious about these kind of things. Now, when was your first video? What was it? Just inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk? Because you must have done this before the book came out, before Crush It came out, right?
Oh, I was doing videos when Gary was on like his first. I would say right before he hit 200 to 300. And I just saw him doing it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't because he was preaching it so much as I just saw him doing a wine blog and said, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Love coffee. He loves wine. Why not?
Right.
And if you watch some of my older episodes, especially, you can see some of his style rubbing off on me. And I get that feedback actually a lot on Twitter, or I mean, not Twitter, YouTube. And I just say, yeah, Gary's awesome, and because he is. I'm not trying to be him. I have a lot of that same DNA inside me. I'm just passionate about the topic, so it comes off as sometimes a little overbearing.
Right.
But it's just a part of my personality, and I'm not going to dumb that down because it reminds people of somebody else.
So
You know
now,
what I mean?
I totally get it. Now, when you first started out with these video blogs, you must have been, you had an audience, but a lot of the content you had to just kind of guess what people wanted to hear. And now I assume you reached the point where you're doing most of your videos responding to people's questions. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's really on point.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that before our interview, actually. My content has evolved to a point where before I had to guess. My first video was thank you for following me. My second video was here's how you taste coffee. And now my videos are more like, what do people say in the comments? What do people say on Twitter that they want to see, what they want to hear? And so now my content has evolved from just me sitting in front of a table, tasting a coffee and saying, here's what I smell, here's what I taste, to a point where I'm unboxing machines. A phenomenon, by the way, that just totally baffles me. Why people want to see me unbox a coffee maker is beyond.
Okay. So they actually want to watch you opening
Unbox it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got it. I unbox it. And this is stuff that people have said they want to see. That's the only reason I'm doing it. So I unbox it. I do a demo of the machine showing people how to use it. And then afterwards, I'll do a review on it. Mm-hmm. And those end up being probably in my top 5 video types that people watch and pass around, which to me is shocking because to me that's boring to watch. Mm-hmm. So it's really about listening to your community and what they want to see and what they want to know about and hear, as opposed to if I was just doing what I wanted to do, the easiest thing for me to do and the thing I enjoy the most is taking a cup of coffee, smelling it, and slurping it.
Right.
So, yeah, that's really on point question.
And oh, by the way, what kind of coffee are you drinking right now? Is that coffee in the mug there?
Yes, it is. It's Sumatra. Um, I honestly don't remember who sent it to me, but um, I think it's Coffee AM Sumatra.
Okay.
It's really muddy, actually.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the dark, the bold. My favorite drink
Mhm.
at Starbucks is the iced Americano. And so I always get those. I'm not sure, what would you recommend someone like me?
Super bitter.
Yeah, I really
That's
like that.
super bitter.
I really like those. I don't like
Yeah.
adding cream or sugar. I just like coffee black and as strong as possible.
Nice.
Now let's talk about CoffeeCupNewsorg. If you don't mind sharing a little bit of how that site is able to monetize.
My main mode of monetization on there is ads. So if you went there right now, you would see an ad for a company selling Kcups
Okay.
in the top right hand corner. Um, we don't have as many ads right now as I would like to, but I'm also trying to. I did a video update the other day about I'm trying to limit the number of advertisers we have just because it's a hindrance to some people in the community. They don't like
Mm-hmm.
to see a lot of ads.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to limit it and come up with a style on my blog to, you know what I mean, like kind of balance it, content and ads, to where I still get to make money, but it's not so irritating to my community.
Right, right. Have you tried sponsoring each show that you do, or is that a little too complicated?
I have tried that. It ends up being more work than it's worth for me.
Okay, okay,
And it comes off as the only reason you gave that coffee a good review is because they paid you to do the review. And
okay.
for about a 6 month time period, I was charging people to do reviews. Almost every review for about 3 months, but then for like 6 months as I transitioned, there was less. I tried to monetize all of my content,
Mm-hmm.
but I talked to a few of my advertisers and they didn't like it because they didn't want it to seem like I was giving a good review um, because of the fact that they paid me to do the review.
Right.
And there's other people in the coffee industry that do written. CoffeeReview.com, I believe, gets paid for all of their reviews because he's getting paid for his time, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I'm gonna stay away from that.
Right. Now, it must have felt good when you got approached, or I should ask you, your very first sponsor, I guess, or someone who wanted to put their first ad on your site. Did they approach you, or
It,
they
they
did
did,
approach you?
and I was shocked because, to be honest, I didn't start it with this is gonna be my full time job. I'm gonna make coffee videos and talk about loving it, and thousands of people are gonna watch, and I'm gonna make tons of money.
Right. Right.
Because I love coffees and I just want to talk about it with people. And so when someone said, "We want to pay you," and back then I wasn't getting nearly the traffic I am now, and they said, "We want to pay you $100 a month to put an ad on your site," I was shocked.
Right.
Shocked.
Right.
And I gave them a discount because I felt bad taking that much money from them because of how little my traffic was. But yeah, it was shocking to me. And then I said, you know what? Maybe this could be some extra money to take my wife out to dinner.
All right. And now I'm sure you get approached all the time. You've run into the problem of choosing which sponsors to put on at any given time.
Yeah, definitely. And even to the point where I get so much product now, what am I going to review? And so, my wife and I, and sometimes my kids will taste coffee and go, are we going to review from this company? I mean, I'm to the point now where I'm getting coffee makers,
Mm-hmm.
sent to me. And so it's really, I only have 7 days a week and about 3 to 4 extra hours a day to do
To do this.
this.
So you're still doing this on the side. You still have the full-time job, so it can get a little challenging as far as time goes, time
Yeah.
management.
And, for me, a 4 hour work week is not a part of the equation.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I totally get it. Now, have you ever considered selling coffee through your site?
considered it, but, I feel like for now, I'm the middleman. I'm the guy that needs to be trusted to be able to give a fair, balanced, real opinion about a coffee. And if I'm selling that coffee, I'm not saying that it couldn't work. I'm just saying it could come off as he's only giving it a good review because he's selling it, or
Right.
and I've debated it, but for now, I think it could work, because if you look at some of my keywords in Google Analytics, which I know that Gary's not that big on looking at that kind of stuff, but I like that stuff. And if you look at some of the keywords that I index for, I could do it. I definitely could sell coffee through my site, because people are looking to buy coffee. Probably, I would say 50% of the people that come to my site, they're actually looking for something to buy.
Right.
So yeah, it could work. But for now, I'm staying away from it.
Okay, I totally get it. And for people out there, because maybe a lot of people out there are watching as we wrap up, Jason, and they're saying, man, I'd like to do video blogs. I noticed you have a camera back there. Is that thing standing on the tripod?
Yeah, this is like my little, setup behind me.
So that is your main camera you use, right?
Yeah, and it's... What's the question here? I don't want to answer something you're not asking.
Well, just if someone's, wants to know how much something like that would cost. Because I use a flip cam and I have certain webcams. I always tell people, you don't need to get fancy there. But like let's just take your camera, for example. How much does that setup cost?
Let me start here, because I'll answer your question a different way.
Okay.
I started with a camera that today would cost like $100.
Okay.
I mean, it was a total piece of crap. It cost me back in the day $300, but today you could go on eBay and find it for next to nothing. Then I moved to a flip cam, which was like $150.
Yeah.
And it's excellent video quality. The audio is terrible.
Okay.
But I still had a sizable audience for... I don't think it really hinders it, because people, they just want to connect to a real person that's passionate about the same thing that they're passionate about, right? So they're not really, they're just looking for someone real. And quality helps, but it's not necessary. And I think some people, when I first started, said there's an authenticity to what you're doing, because we know you don't have a whole bunch of money and you're not like this guy that's getting paid a full-time wage to do this. It's real. You're just like us,
You're not a corporation. You're not a logo.
Right, exactly. You're just a guy. And so, that helps. But right now, if you wanted to get this set up, it's a Canon HF10 with a boom mic. I think you can find that camera now for like $350. And the boom microphone, it's a Rode mic, is like $100 on Amazon. So you could do like, $450 for the setup. And if you watch some of my more recent videos, it's good quality. 720p, good audio. And for somebody that is maybe doing it just as a blog or as an accent to their business, that's like next to nothing to be able to advertise your business and to like connect with real people online.
Right. So I guess that's the bottom line. It doesn't cost much to do. You just gotta spend the time and put your passion out there and just be as authentic and credible as possible. Jason, thank you very much. Last question: have any big brands like I don't know, Starbucks or someone else approached you and said, "Hey, we want to hire you to do our social media," or have they gone into that space themselves already?
I've had multiple coffee companies, smaller ones usually, say, "Hey, you're really good at this. Can you give us advice for social media?" And then it on ramps to, "Would you like to do our social media?" And I don't have any interest to do that.
Okay.
I tried it. I've tried just doing it pro bono just to see how I liked it, and I just don't.
Right.
I like pumping out the content. I don't really like managing other people's feeds. It's not really where my heart is. I like pumping out my own content and connecting with my community. Yeah, it's there. Now, on that note, though, I was super excited because I was the first person to try Starbucks K-Cups. They just came out. Did you
Oh,
know
okay.
that?
No, I did not.
Do you do K-Cup coffee?
That's the Keurig thing.
Yeah, these pods right here.
I have a Tassimo or a Tassimo. I'm not sure how you
Okay.
pronounce that.
Yeah, Starbucks used to be on that format, the pods. And they just moved over to the K-Cups.
Okay.
And right now that's really popping off on CoffeeCupNews.org. And so I'll just say that to your community. If you want to see some really just if you want to be a part of a community that loves coffee, and if you're out there with your mocha in your hand right now saying, I just want to be involved with a community that loves coffee and with a guy that's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys think I'm cool or not. I'm kind of a geek, a chic geek. And stop by coffeecupnews.org just come and hang out with us.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. I'll definitely be checking it out as a caffeine addict myself. As I go back to the office, what would you recommend I try? Something new. Let's say at Starbucks, because they're everywhere. It's hard to avoid. I always get the iced Americano. Is there something else I should be trying?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. If you're gonna be at Starbucks, which I know a lot of people watching this are, by far one of their best coffees is Kenya.
Kenya.
Anything African.
Oh, okay.
So, I would go for do this. This is my advice to every single person watching right now. If you're gonna do it at Starbucks and you want to learn a little bit more about coffee, just for fun, just one time. It's only like $2, right? Just get a small Kenya. They'll do a pour over for you, fresh. Get it black, no cream, no sugar.
Right.
You can add it afterwards. And just do this. Smell it. And then just tell yourself what you're smelling. And even a barista behind the bar will do this with you if you want them to. They'll they'll do a French press. If you're at the right one, they'll do a French press with you. But with black coffee, just smell it. Say out loud what you're smelling. Slurp it. Say out loud what you tasted. And then a whole world will open up to you in regards to coffee, because you'll realize this actually tastes like something when I don't put the cream and sugar in it.
Oh,
it actually
I hate
has
cream and sugar.
It actually has notes, fruity notes, acidity that bubbles on your tongue, and it actually is so much more enjoyable to drink a cup of coffee with no cream and no sugar. And I think a lot of people just don't know that because they've never done it.
I agree. I hate cream and sugar. Now, can I get this Kenya iced, or does it have to be hot?
You can do it iced. Actually, African coffees are some of the best coffees to do with over ice, because they have some of those fruity qualities and those like aromatic qualities. So yeah, that's my advice. Do it black, sniff it, smell it, say it out loud, and then afterwards add your cream and sugar. And I guarantee you, if you do that every single time before you add your stuff to it, you're going to end up not adding the sugar, and then you're going to end up not adding the cream, because what you'll realize is I'm ruining the coffee when I add those two things to it.
Horrible. I hate that. I hate cream and sugar. You got to go black, and like Jason said, add that stuff afterwards if you have to. Thank you, Jason. I'll be going to get me a Kenya right after this interview's over.
Awesome.
Jason, thank you very much. I'll be following your community. I've been going there back and forth a few times over the last few weeks since we've gotten to know each other on Twitter. And good luck with your business. Whenever you're doing something new or exciting, I'd like to interview you again. And, it was great talking to you. Thanks a lot, Jason.
You too. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
And we're going to have the links where you can follow Jason on Twitter, and you can also go to CoffeeCupNews.org. And Jason, your Twitter handle is?
Coffee Cup News.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much to Jason, and thank you everyone for watching. It's dansfera.com. Thanks a lot.